essentially calling slave labor, but like, people don't like monoculture, for example, monoculture farming, right? I remember one person talking about progress, like, oh, the way we do fertilizer is wrong. And I kind of went like, yeah, you could remove that, but you would probably starve 100 million people within months, right? So yes, the system has problems with it, like mono farming or like inequitable labor relationships, and you could even say slave labor, right? But it's also not even, yes, right. Sure. But it's also.
Okay, we're gonna do a hard out in 10 minutes. I'm gonna push the chat a little harder. Here we go.
You could end up actually, destroying more than you think. Yes, exactly. The unintended consequences, and look, and I'm not saying that justifies anything or everything. I'm just saying the system, the modern world that we live in is so complex that these things are interrelated in a way that
my chat isn't working.
Without causing unintentional harm, the unintentional harm of which you then have to weigh against whatever inequity you were trying to fix.
Yeah, like pulling USAID from people who are living off of it in other countries and kind of like distally causing a genocide.
Are you talking about when COVID was released from China and that caused millions of deaths around the world and nobody's going to blame them?
No, I'm not trying to cause it.
Well, it's just like a random.
I'm just saying, like, how proximal does like the harm have to be in order for us to be outraged by it? Like, is it just about the visibility of it? Is it the fact that it occurs in our neighborhoods, right?
I think proximity is a big thing, and like whether you can like make an impact or not. It's convenient. For instance, if you were
got like 5 different headsets, bro. What's going on with Louis?
Yeah, Louis, what is that? What was it?
It's a matter of convenience. That's what it is. So the moment it begins to inconvenience someone or put a little bit of dampen on their privilege or entitlement, that's when it becomes an issue.
Inconvenience of somebody else, isn't that what we're talking about?
No, that's not. No,
the convenience of somebody else.
Are you trolling or are you serious?
That's what we're talking about,
Are
right?
you trolling? No. The inconvenience is not the convenience of someone else. I feel like that's a troll, bro.
For example, right?
Total troll.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. So a person is an employee, works for an employer, right? People are taking the position that the employee, because of them being an employee, is devalued in this relationship.
I guess when you say that, I think that's talking about like from a business standpoint. I'm thinking more like deforestation.
Oh, you must,
right? No,
but that's the same, right? Like deforestation. Without that, again, if you stop deforestation, you're going to have serious problems for other people.
Right, but you're inconveniencing me by destroying my freaking native land in order to convenience. There's no convenience. There's no convenience for me without you not deforestifying my neighborhood.
I say this without
convenience for me.
Well, I would say again,
inconvenience for your inconvenience.
For you specifically, not again. I want to take Tali's point of not sparing people, but right. I don't think you live in the forest.
I know, but like
I think you are convenienced by the deforestation.
The convenience versus inconvenience argument, right? Just to take us, slow it down. Right, you're like someone has to be inconvenienced in order for someone has to.
Okay, I put in the chat. Anyone have anything intelligent to say? Word definition clones, the Low IQ Hypnosis Club, Brain Rot Association of Stupid Hypnotists, and then Dr. McCool wrote, Doge, you're actually right about this. And then I wrote Dopamine Creation Club for brain rot sufferers.
We're saying somebody has to be inconvenienced, right? To be convinced. So you're saying the natives are
correct. And you're like, you can't have one. You're like, there's not one that has to be
harm and benefits instead of convenience. Harm and benefits.
It's starting to get annoying. Oh my gosh. Let's use another word, please.
Yeah, we're talking about the relationship between two different
counterparties.
Yeah, counterparties, right? One's going to be inconvenienced, the other one's going to be convenienced.
Right.
But again,
the moment you start to inconvenience someone, that's when these issues become highlighted.
I think it also depends on how you define the harm and the benefit, right? Because when you again, like let's just take this native deforestation. Those
I'm looking at that not like employer.
Sure, but like and again, it depends on how you rate. We can be super utilitarian about it, right? Like we deforest and it affects 100 native people in their land, but but now we can feed 5,000 people, right? And then how do you weigh those? And then also, again, it's not a zero sum necessarily, right? Because the people who are harmed also might benefit in ways as well, right? Just like the people who benefit might also be harmed, right? Because it is monoculture and the food. Sure, now you can feed 5,000 people, but now they're 10 pounds overweight. And the people who lost their land, yes, they lost their land, but now they have modern medicine or whatever, right? So like all these, again, this is to the point of all these things are interconnected, and you cannot pull the string without tightening several different knots in other places.
It's like, yeah, now we can fly to Mars, but people might not be able to have their social security assistance.
I wrote low IQ brain rot word sufferers, aka the word definition club.
Again, like I said, I started doing it to be pretty blunt about it, right? Like, I'm not even trying to say what's right or wrong. I'm just trying to explain.
Like, you're saying because this is like you destroyed my land and fucking pillaged the people, and now I don't have a house, and like we were living off the land or whatever. Just hypothetically, we have medicine now, like, and then you guys, when you get feed 500 people,
He's not saying it's a trade-off. He said,
that's the example. It's not always true, though. And I do think it's a zero-sum game, specifically in deforestation.
Okay, I wrote, this low IQ stupid waste of time convo is being streamed on 10 YouTube and X accounts in 5 clown house rooms. Can I be any more direct? We'll see if they kick.
He said in every...
The funniest thing is I'm doing him such a huge favor, but if they actually kick me, it just shows you how, literally, I guess, nihilistic they are.
For example, right? Colonization. We'll just say vaccines. Or if you're one of those vaccine people, or just the way of life today, right? Education, whatever it is. If you say, "Hey, look at those people over there. Look at us now."
Okay, I wrote, if you kick me, you are truly not chill and a collection of nihilists.
Where they are now. They're in a better on reservations. No, they're not. Hold on.
There is nobody here. Exactly.
So Luhai hates you wrote, this low IQ stupid waste of time combo is being streamed on 10X, 10 YouTube, blah, 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 with a grand total of 20 views.
Right now?
The Uyghurs.
Oh, yeah, the Uyghurs. Would the Native Americans want to go sit aside the Uyghurs?
There is also no reservation that practices the conditions and the policies, or even the tools, even the styles of the 1500s, the 1600s, 1700s, even the 1900s. They're all modern tech. They enjoy clean water. They enjoy filtered water come through.
Right. So they have the ability with technology to see more punani in 30 minutes than a king from the.
I wrote, I'm the only clown implementing capitalism at the moment.
Yeah, but that's bad sometimes. That doesn't
I'm just trying to. It is, but I'm trying to make a point.
Oh, her comment afterwards, like, oh, I like this guy.
This idea that
why don't they kick?
Can happen without somebody suffering is.
Why won't she kick?
Kind of naive. I think the goal is to limit suffering as much as possible. Like the phone you're holding came from a Foxconn factory where there's suicide nets on the outside. The idea here is we should certainly strive for zero suffering. We should strive for the wheels of progress moving without.
We've got a hard out of 2 minutes 40 seconds, but why won't she kick? Why won't she kick?
Should we all be, running around with handmade bamboo slippers and living in the trees and, burying our shit in the ground?
Yeah, but the perception of work or just any action could be considered suffering. And any action of work.
So my thing is, you're saying you got to break a few eggs to make an omelet, but nobody asked for the omelet. You're the one who wants the omelet.
No, everybody asked for the omelet, but just this is what I started with. If you remember, I said the world will not make you the fire. You have to make the fire, right? The physics of reality means people have to put in energy to get stuff out.
The omelet is MRI machines. The omelet is insulin. The omelet is the wheel. The omelet is the written word. The omelet is libraries and the internet and space travel. And highways. nice clean water. Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps you don't want none of
Okay,
that.
no, fair.
Perhaps you don't want none of that. You
But
don't
you
want
guys are acting like the omelet doesn't become Zara and fucking Shein in fast fashion and microplastics.
And I even said that there are losses for the winners. Remember, I said you can feed 5,000 people, but they might end up with monoculture food, and so they're 10 pounds overweight. But the question is, would you rather have monoculture food and be 10 pounds overweight, or be a subsistence farmer struggling and losing teeth because you haven't had vitamin C in 3 months?
Someone made a good argument the other day when they were talking.
I wrote, helping the low IQ politician, aka racial ID propagandists of chillism.
Would have killed to
No,
die
I'm
obese
also
or die of
busy.
old age.
I'm chiming in.
Kind of the truth stuff. And you hear that, Dewey? He's in and out of consciousness.
No, I'm working today.
Look. It's not even an argument with one person, right? Yeah, like look. This is a never-ending conversation that humanity always has with itself, right? Of like, hey, because I forget who said it. Of like, the goal is to minimize harm. Yeah, of course, right? Like, except for maybe the occasional psychopath. Most people, it's not that nobody wants to like harm other people, right? But the physics of the world, like we live in a world where like